Hello, welcome to WebGate Academy. And in this session, we are going to look at all of this. You remember in our previous tutorial, we looked at question answering. So we cover some of the basic stuff that we can ask ChatGPT. So in this section, we are going to look at text summarization, reasoning, role playing, translation, error checking. So it's just a continuation from where we left off from the other tutorial. All right. We're also going to look at all of these things in this session. All right. So let's move on very quickly to uh, summarization. So this is the main instruction, right? And we are telling Chat, here is the main instruction, and we are telling ChatGPT to provide us with a few key points here. And we also tell ChatGPT to focus on British involvement. And we also tell ChatGPT to summarize the article in a neutral tone, which means we are telling ChatGPT not to add his voice to the response. We don't want ChatGPT's suggestions or any ideas added to the response, because ChatGPT can provide a lot of, information attached to the response that he will give you. So if you don't want all those suggestions, if you don't want ChatGPT's voice in the response, then you need to tell ChatGPT to do that in a neutral tone, all right? So that you don't need to make any changes to your text. You just get the raw response from ChatGPT based on the prompt that you gave to ChatGPT, all right? I don't like this canvas thing, all right? So let me switch to the normal chat. So if it is an assignment that you are working on, you can simply copy and paste. You can simply copy and paste. Now see the structure of the response. And then as we proceed, I'm going to show you something, but do not forget this response, all right? I'm going to show you something earlier on in our uh, tutorial, all right? So let's move on to the next example. Let's remove this. ChatGPT already knows that this story is a Ghanaian story. So after we are going to summarize this, so let me begin to type. So in two sentences, we have our summary. All right. So let's move on to reasoning. This is an important aspect of ChatGPT. If you miss this, you are going to face a lot of difficulties in your interaction with ChatGPT. All right. So I'll try my possible best to explain things to you so that you will understand. So with this prompt, We are just telling ChatGPT, uh, we are just testing ChatGPT, all right? We want to find out if ChatGPT can reason. And of course, ChatGPT can reason. Let's look at the second example. You can add a little twist, all right, to your prompt. If you are using this same prompt, you can just add a little twist to it just to test ChatGPT whether you can reason, all right? So why this? Assuming you are talking to a friend and you just make a statement. As for this one, I don't know what to do with him. All right. You are chatting with a friend. Your friend will understand that as for this one, the word this, your friend will understand that you are referring to maybe Kwesi, maybe Ama, maybe Ajwa. You see, because probably in your previous statement you made mention of the name, so there is no need trying to mention the person's name again. So now you use the word this. A person who is passing by and hears of that particular statement, as for this, I don't know what to do with him. He might not understand. First of all, he might think that even the sentence it's wrong. All right, grammatically, the sentence it's wrong. All right, that is someone who is just passing by, who just heard the statement. As for this, I don't know what to do with him. But you that you are chatting with your friend, you see, you understand the word this and whom the word this is referred to. All right. So you don't need to explain to your friend that, I mean, this means a friend, or you replace your friend's name with this. You simply want to flow with your sentence. You want to flow with what you want to tell your friend. So you use the word this. All right. Because you've already told him in the previous statement. So the same thing happens with ChatGPT. So you don't need to go about explaining everything to ChatGPT every now and then. Whatever that you are chatting with ChatGPT, know that ChatGPT will use the previous conversation to answer the current one. All right. So if ChatGPT already know about this particular one, if you already asked ChatGPT this question, he knows that you are working on this currently. So this is the topic under discussion. So if you are going to ask another question, that is a follow-up question on this particular uh, prompts, ChatGPT will understand. There's no need to talk plenty. ChatGPT will understand. This is what you need to get about Chat, especially if you are uh, using this for web development or software development. This is key thing that you need to know. I teach this to those who took the AI driven development training, that you need to understand, or else you are going to have a lot of issue, trying to develop a software or a website, because your chat will be so long. If you don't understand this, if you don't understand this reasoning ability of ChatGPT, your chat will be so long because you'll be asking unnecessary questions that you don't need to ask. ChatGPT can reason, so you just have to tell ChatGPT to just, I mean, based on the previous conversation, to do something for you without necessarily trying to craft a whole prompt, all right, for ChatGPT to understand what you mean. No, let me just, demonstrate what I mean here by reasoning. Now, I want us to look at this example. So now we have 5 examples, the keys to success. All right. So we have 5. All right. So now then ChatGPT is the one who provided this thing for us. He knows it. He provided it for us. All right. So when we tell ChatGPT that um uh we tell him one, all right, we just enter one and we forward to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will know will automatically assume that you want to know more about the point one. All right. So now ChatGPT now is playing further. All right. ChatGPT now is playing further. So assuming instead of saying one, we tell ChatGPT to maybe um, expand or tell me more. Then we say one. All right. Tell me more about point one. All right. So now ChatGPT provide you more information about the point one. All right. So assuming you want to expand on the point one too, you can just use the word expand. You want ChatGPT to explain things in a simple term so that you understand the point one better. You can also attach it to the prompt. All right. But the word one here, ChatGPT, the number one here, you see, ChatGPT understand that you are referring to point one. That is the reasoning aspect of ChatGPT. That is what you should be able to use in order to have a smooth interaction with ChatGPT, so that you have an easier way in creating stuff, more simpler than trying to, I mean, I craft a whole prompt for ChatGPT to do for you. All right. This is very easy. So you need to understand ChatGPT can reason. Do not forget, ChatGPT can reason. All right. Role playing. So let's look at the first example. So instead of also crafting this whole prompt, you can also say that act like Kwame Nkrumah and share your thoughts on the significance of the independence struggle. All right. You can also use that particular prompt. All right. So instead of writing all of this, because there are some things here that are not necessary. All right. They are necessary, but you can avoid them. All right. In order to shorten your prompt. So maybe you are in a hurry, you are trying to get some stuff. This you can use short prompt to get the information that you want. Mm. So what it actually means that we are telling ChatGPT to act like someone, all right? And ChatGPT can do that. ChatGPT can act like your mother, can act like your father, can act like an elderly person, can act like whoever, all right? Depending on the information that you want from the person, you can tell ChatGPT to act like anyone or anything, all right? In order for you to interact with him or her or that the very thing. All right, so that is that. So ChatGPT can be your teacher or whatever. You see, so the same thing here. This prompt is also the same as the first one. So ChatGPT can act like anyone as an economic teacher in SHS. So you need to specify all of these things so that ChatGPT can provide you with a suitable information. All right. So with this, you want ChatGPT to come to your level, right? Because you said as an economics teacher, so which means who is teaching SHS students. So if you are an SHS student, ChatGPT will come to your level. It's going to speak to you in a way that you understand as an SHS student. So if you are in the university and you want to understand things simpler, then you need to tell ChatGPT you are maybe in GHS, you are a secondary school, so that ChatGPT will use, simple words to explain things very well to you so that you understand. or you can as well tell ChatGPT to explain to you as he would explain to someone who is in primary 5, primary 6, or someone who is 7 year old, all right, or someone who is a kid. So you can simply tell ChatGPT to do that, and ChatGPT will explain to you in a simple terms. All right. So let's move on to translation. With the translation, let me just copy and paste everything in there. ChatGPT can understand a lot of languages, even our local languages. ChatGPT understand them, including Fanti, Ichi, and all those kind of stuff. And of course, other languages, local languages. If you are in Nigeria, if you are in South Africa, whatever that you are, ChatGPT understand some of the local languages, especially when it comes to Ghana. ChatGPT doesn't do too well with the Fanti and the Twi languages, all right, because of our syllable, right? Uh, words like letters like a, or, and all those things. ChatGPT doesn't know how to do with that, all right? So he doesn't do too well. He can provide you stuff in Fanti, in English. Sometimes um, the stuff that ChatGPT is going to provide you with is correct. Other times, it doesn't just connect, all right? He can provide you stuff in Tree or Fancy or whatever, but he doesn't do too well. And that's the problem. He doesn't do too well with those languages, right? But he does well. I mean, with the pidgin, right? With the as for the pidgin, ChatGPT does well. All right, so you can utilize that. So now the barriers has been removed. If you want to learn French, whatever language, maybe Italiano, you want to learn whatever, you just need to program your ChatGPT so that you'll be able to learn uh, the language that you want to learn. It's actually simple. You can use ChatGPT to learn any language that you want. As for error checking, I will not waste my time here because error checking is not something that ChatGPT, I mean, does. It is something that he does it automatically. You don't need to tell ChatGPT that ChatGPT correct this error for me. Automatically, right? Automatically, ChatGPT knows. So, in order to avoid asking ChatGPT to correct an error for you, you can simply you just ensure that whatever that you are giving to ChatGPT is not an instruction, or else ChatGPT will follow the instruction and forgo the error checking stuff that you want ChatGPT to do for you. All right. So that's the reason why I added check error, right? Uh, because under normal circumstances, ChatGPT will do that, automatically for you. So if you want things simple, you need to program your ChatGPT in a way so that whenever that you paste any error text, ChatGPT will be able to do that automatically for you without you adding any instruction. We are going to look at that when we get to organizing and assessing your charts. We are going to discuss that in details. All right, so stay tuned. We will get to that. But just know that error checking is something that ChatGPT will do it automatically. So let's move to all right. So let me just explain this. ChatGPT. So we are telling ChatGPT to explain the concept of demand and supply in economics in simple terms. All right. As I said earlier, so ChatGPT can break it down using analogies that you are familiar with that will help you to understand better, right? So ChatGPT, the era of AI that we are in right now, will deepen our understanding depending on how best you use the tools available. All right. So if you are using a tool like ChatGPT, and then you are rest assured that you will understand things better, right? All those complex subjects, those complex topics, you'll be able to break it down using ChatGPT for better understanding. So if you are facing any issues, ChatGPT can help you with an advice, all right? If you are sick or whatever, you can explain your situation. What is the symptoms of your sickness? You can just give ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can recommend some advice for you. But no, he will be telling you some stuff, all right? But yes, still, he can still provide you with because it is medical, all right? But ChatGPT can still provide you with, I mean, an advice and whatever. There are certain things they are personal to that you cannot even voice it out to your friend, not even your parents. So you can tell ChatGPT, maybe you are going through some trauma, some things emotionally, all right, relationship stuff. You can just tell ChatGPT. ChatGPT will guide you. You are battling with a particular sickness, you don't know what to do, you are shy, whatever, you are afraid of, I mean, people, you can't speak, I mean, to your audience, whatever. You see, you have some um, shy issues, right? ChatGPT can help you deal with all these things, right? So these are some of the things that you can ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will just, answer you. So let's move on to this. ChatGPT can be used to write songs and write all of these things that you see here, and even more. All right, this is the few things that we can look at in this tutorial. So you need to try all of these prompts. All right, let me just, um, so you can choose your own title. So write a song, then you add the title of the song, and then plus the person that you want ChatGPT to mimic. You can add the person's name so that ChatGPT will write the song as Sarkodie will write it. Will write the song as the name you specify. All right. So you need to put in the musician, or you can as well, I mean, leave it that way. All right. Then ChatGPT will write a song based on your the topic that you are going to give ChatGPT, the title. All right. So ChatGPT can also rap infancy and all those kind of stuff, and he just, as I said earlier, he doesn't do too well with the local languages, but yet he can still provide some stuff for you. I think with time, ChatGPT will be learning and getting well with our local languages, right? So you can as well use it to write. We can't do all of this thing here, right? You can also use it to write an email. This is a template that we are giving ChatGPT. We are giving ChatGPT something to work on, all right? So that ChatGPT will give us exactly what we want. But we are writing an email. So what is the email about? Whom are you writing the email to? That Evelyn Jones and the bank. What is the subject? All right. So this is the subject, and then ChatGPT will be able to craft, I mean, a nice email for us so that we can forward it to whoever that we want to send it to. So ChatGPT can do a lot of stuff. So there are more stuff that you can add to this email so that more stuff that so that ChatGPT will do just that for you. Uh, So you need to be careful of, I mean, stuff like this when you are using uh, a particular model. Ensure that you are using the normal model, all right? So other than that, with this one, you need to open a new chat. ChatGPT, which means ChatGPT will not allow us to, or let me see. Let's see. Let's move on, and we are going to look at. I want to explain a few things here. So let me. All right. So ChatGPT will not allow us unless we use a new chat. I didn't know when the model switched. So you need to be careful of that because chats are very important. ChatGPT just did that automatically. I didn't know when. So all these things happen. All right. So you need to watch out. Now, whatever that you want to do, if you are writing a WhatsApp message, tell ChatGPT that this is a WhatsApp message. You are writing a web, specify everything. If it is a blog post, make sure you write blog post. If it is a Facebook post, make sure you write Facebook post. Tell ChatGPT exactly what the message is for. All right. You need to specify it. Other than that, ChatGPT, because a blog post is different from a Facebook post. All right. So, assuming we tell ChatGPT, rewrite this, rewrite this as Facebook. Don't worry, you can always use shortcuts. ChatGPT will understand all of these things. So now, a Facebook post is different from a blog post. You see the difference, all right? And a Facebook post is also different from WhatsApp, all right? So now we tell this is the reasoning aspect that makes things instead of telling ChatGPT rewrite as WhatsApp message, you just tell ChatGPT WhatsApp and ChatGPT understand. Right? If he doesn't understand with this, he didn't get it. All right. So now what you do is that you just continue with now. I'm going to show you something here. That means ChatGPT have not gotten. Uh, he's trying to, get what you are doing right now. So I'm going to show you something right now. We write as WhatsApp message. Now we've done this twice. The first one we rewrote it as Facebook, and then again we came to WhatsApp. Now, look at that. When we did with the WhatsApp, ChatGPT gave us a particular response. He didn't understood what we wanted to do. Now, let's type again. Twitter. Now, ChatGPT will understand that you want to convert this particular uh, message to that of Twitter. All right, so this is a tweet. You realize that the tweet is different from the WhatsApp message and then the blog post and then the WhatsApp. Everything is different. So know what you want and tell ChatGPT exactly what you want. Explain everything in your prompt, and ChatGPT will give you a better response. All right. So let's move on to editing. With editing, we have a sample test here. We are going to look at 7 keys to success. If you are working on a particular assignment with Microsoft Word, you realize that you can do some formatting, you can do some editing, try to make some changes to the text. Assuming you pull the text from online, you make some changes to it so that the text becomes your own. Right? So you can do the same thing using ChatGPT. Uh, so let's first of all try the editing. So remove 7. So we are going to remove the 7th option. So now we are left with 6. All right. Again, remove 4 to 6. All right. So that we will be left with only 3 items. And then over here, we can tell ChatGPT to uh, italics. Italics. Don't now we won't add any instruction. ChatGPT will understand it. That you want to italize the key point in it, the which is this and this one and this one. ChatGPT didn't add all of this, right? He didn't, format all of this. He knows that this is the particular one. This is the reasonability of ChatGPT. He is trying to reason it because of this particular uh, feature about ChatGPT. It can also create problem for you, right? Sometimes ChatGPT can create something for you that you didn't plan for, right? That is not what you asked for. ChatGPT will get it out of context. He is trying to help you. That's the reason why he is thinking fast. He is trying to reason, trying to get what you want to do. So sometimes ChatGPT may go off board. So when that happens, you need to go into your prompt, you edit it, and then you restructure your prompt again, and ChatGPT will provide you with the exact response that you want. All right. So italics. Then let's bold our text. I'm sure the italics, you can see them clearly here, that this has been italicized. All right, so let's bold it. So our text has been bolded. If you are not seeing it, sorry, let me copy and paste it here so that you can see it. This is the previous one without the bold format. All right, realize that nothing is highlight here. So italics is highlighted. All right, which means this has been formatted, all right, just as we asked earlier. But you realize that it is not bolded, all right. So this is the previous one. So now let's look at the one that we asked ChatGPT to bold, which is this one. All right, so we are going to look at that. Let's check if the format was applied. All right, so you can see, as you can see clearly over here, that the format was applied here. Realize the bold is applied, this one too is applied. You see, so it is working. We are editing our tests. We can also tell ChatGPT to capitalize our test so that ChatGPT will capitalize it. So we can also tell ChatGPT to table it, and ChatGPT will provide us with a table format. All right. So now we have our text in a table format. So that um, so whatever format that you want, just tell ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT. We can go on and on and on, but let's move on to different things. So that is all for editing. So let's look at keywords, some of the keywords, and then shortcuts that you can use in ChatGPT. So with the keyword, we have um, rev. Rev means revise. All right, ChatGPT understand that. So ChatGPT is going to provide us with a different version of what he provided here. Right, it will be different. If you check it properly, you realize that it is different. Right, the words are changed. You see, the sentence are restructured. Right, so it is different. You are telling ChatGPT. So assuming you want someone's work to be different from yours, you can use ChatGPT to craft different version of a particular text. All right. So you can also re- revise version is also the same as V1, right? V1 means version 1, all right? So if you tell ChatGPT version 1, ChatGPT is going to provide us with a different version, right? Then maybe you are not cool with it. You can tell ChatGPT that version 2, and ChatGPT will provide us with another version. You can go on and on and on and on. Version 3, version 5, version 6, and all those stuff until you get what you want, right? So with this, we can also use the word continue to continue from where ChatGPT stops. Assuming ChatGPT is providing you with a long response, ChatGPT can continue. All right. So you just ask ChatGPT to continue. Right. So assuming, let me uh, give you an example here. So ChatGPT provide us with 5. So if you want to continue this, uh, message, you just write the word continue so that ChatGPT will continue from point 5. All right. Then it will give us 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So this is one of the way to bypass the limit that comes with the free version. Since we are using the free version, there are limits as to the kind of text, the number of text that ChatGPT can provide for us. All right. ChatGPT cannot provide us with maybe about uh, maybe 50 lines of text, or maybe 70 lines of text. There's a limit to the kind of text that ChatGPT can provide, right? There's a limit. Right? So uh, this is the way to bypass the limit so that ChatGPT. So you can also write another continue or use the word more, and ChatGPT will also continue from there, right? So we have point 11, point 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is how to get more information from ChatGPT. Those who are using the version 4, who are benefiting from all of this, it doesn't really, matter. If you are using the free version, you can also get a lot of stuff from ChatGPT just using this keywords or shortcuts. You know. So what's the next one? I think the expand, you already understand. Simplify, you just if you want to simplify a particular text, right? And then define, you want to define. Have you also seen all of these things? All right. So with this, maybe there are some stuff in there that you don't understand. You can just tell ChatGPT to simplify. All right. It's just a word. Simplify. ChatGPT will simplify it for you. All right, or explain in a simple term, and ChatGPT will explain that in a simple term. So here also we can also ask ChatGPT to speak to us in a humorous tone. You want ChatGPT to ask certain stuff like maybe your mom is celebrating her birthday, and so you ask ChatGPT to craft a message for you. And so maybe you forgot to add, you want a message that will be designed for someone who is sick, right? So assuming maybe your mom is sick, don't worry, your mom will not get sick. It is well with us. Uh, so you just say she is sick, right? She is sick. So that ChatGPT will now restructure the sentence for someone who is sick. So now the message will be reconstructed, right? So that even though your mom is sick, the message will be a message that is channeled for him, all right, for her, all right. And then you I made mention, I wanted to show you something here. Um, all right. I wanted to show you something here. Let me see if I can remember. All right, let's move ahead. Maybe along the line, maybe I will remember it and then we will talk about that. Okay, mastering the prompts, perfect prompt formula, right? This is what I want to leave with you guys. You need to master every prompt that we are going to give ChatGPT. You need to ensure that it follows this rule, right? The perfect prompt formula. You need to ensure that you follow this formula, all right? So I will leave you guys to go through all of this. I took my time to explain it very well in a simple term so that you'll be able to understand all of them. When we say a perfect prompt formula, these are all the elements that it's in there. We have task, right? We have task, which means you need to tell ChatGPT what you want ChatGPT to do for you, all right? So your prompt should include a task. And we also have context, which means you should give ChatGPT an extra information. You need to give ChatGPT background information, more details about, I mean, what you intend to get from ChatGPT. And we also have exemplar, which means you can give example as we did with the email. We provided ChatGPT with how you want the email to be, I mean, constructed, right? So you can tell ChatGPT some example of how you should do something for you. All right. Yeah, you see that. I mean, when we get, I mean, I think we have something here. I'm going to show you that when we get it. We also have persona. You can tell ChatGPT to act like a person. So a perfect prompt formula include all of these elements, right? So we also have formats. The format in which you want ChatGPT to present the message or the response, you need to, I mean, specify that, all right? Whether it's a paragraph, whether it's a table, whether it's uh, a bullet point, or whatever, whatever be the case, you need to specify it, all right? Uh, just as we presented uh, our message in the form of a table. All right. So if you need it in the form of a table, you need to specify it. All right. So a perfect prompt formula should include, I mean, formats. And then lastly, we have tone. The tone. What kind of tone do you want ChatGPT? As humans, we have a lot of tone. You know, sometimes depending on the situation, our tone changes. Sometimes we use strong tone. Other times we use soft tone. Other times we use serious tone. Other times, you know, we use other tones. All right. So you need to specify the kind of tone that ChatGPT should use, and ChatGPT will do exactly that. So you need to go through all of these things because I explained very well so that you will understand. Right. So I think this is what I was talking about. Example, right? So something like this, uh, we are telling ChatGPT an example of how you should construct the email, right? So this is a template that we are giving ChatGPT so that ChatGPT have something to work on. But we don't want to leave ChatGPT to go all about creating everything from him. We want to tell ChatGPT that we want him to drive towards this direction. So that's the reason why we are giving ChatGPT all of those, you know, information. All right. So a perfect prompt formula includes all of the element that we talked about earlier. And so this is an example as a nutritionist, a persona. So we are telling ChatGPT that you are a nutritionist, all right? ChatGPT should act like a nutritionist. Suggest a list, all right? Suggest a list, all right? So we want it in a list format of healthy plant-based food. This is an example. This is an example. I think uh, I need to change it here. This is an example, all right? A healthy plant-based food that are easy to prepare and rich in nutrients. Keep the tone friendly and encouraging, all right? So this is the tone that we are using: friendly tone and then encouraging. So it's it feels motivating for healthier someone trying to eat healthier, right? So this is the context, right? Someone trying to eat healthier. This is the context, all right? So this is an example of a perfect prompt formula, right? So your prompt should include all of these things. Not all prompts should include all of these things, because later on we are going to, after we are done with the organizing and assessing your chart, you realize sometimes it doesn't, because if you program your chat GPT so much well, you don't need all of these things to be able to create content. All right. Sometimes, all right. Sometimes too, it is very important, because you will need them no matter what. You will need this perfect prompt formula. You will need it. All right. But we are going to look at the other side. All right. When there is the need to use this and when there is no need to use this. All right. So let's look at organizing and assessing your chart. So you need to go through all of the information for better understanding. All right. Organizing and assessing your chart. So we are going to uh, look at a demo of how to organize and assess our charts. So we are going to look at that. Now you come here. If you are using a phone, it's the same. All right. If you are using a phone, you just open the menu bar and then you can have access to the search engine here, and then you type whatever. All right. But before we go into that, let's look at something here. You see, these are list of charts that I have opened. Every chart that you open here will be given a depot name. All right. Every chart that we open here will be given a depot name based on the first prompt. So you realize here, this I didn't name it myself. ChatGPT named it for me based on the first prompt. So the first prompt was about effective meal preparation. So ChatGPT automatically rename this thing for us. All right. So if you don't want that, you need to come here and then you change the name. You need to rename it into something that you can remember. All right. So naming is very important so that you'll be able to access them. So when you come here, you can search for it. So because if you have a long list of charts, you can't scroll through to the end. All right. Especially when it comes to my account scroll, because I started using ChatGPT ever since it was released. So it's more than 2 years now. So the chart that I have is quite long. I'll not be able to scroll to the end. There are some charts that I can't even remember anymore. And that is, of course, it's not important to me, right? But those that are important to me, of course, I remember them, and then I do the search over here, right? So assuming maybe I want to search for a particular chart here, I can search for it, and by clicking it, I open the chart. So naming your chart is very, very important. You just don't go about creating, chats, chatting anywhere. All right. The reason why it's more important that you stick to chats. All right. But if there's one particular chat that you are using, just as I'm using here, you need to stick to it. Like for instance, I have a particular chat here. I can open it directly in the panel, but let me just type it. All right. So I open the chat youth ministry. All right. This chat is a chat that is specifically for uh, everything pertaining to the youth ministry. All right. So every chat over here is about youth. Whenever there's something that I need to do in there's any announcement, there's whatever that we need to do with the youth ministry, I type it out here. And because of our past conversation, because of everything that we are doing here, that is the chat, all right, the conversation that we've had earlier. ChatGPT now has come to remember ChatGPT can reason, all right? Don't forget that. So ChatGPT now understands what the chat is for, all right? It remembers everything. Don't forget ChatGPT has a memory, all right? If you use ChatGPT for a very long time, uh, I'm sure you might have come across memory full error. All right. If you have not gotten that, that means maybe you just using ChatGPT maybe a year ago or 6 months ago. All right. You will not experience that. But if you're someone that use ChatGPT for a very long time, just like myself, I started experiencing memory full. Somewhere early last year. All right. So it's about 1 year ago. All right, I started experimenting because there's no single day pass without me using ChatGPT. I use it on every day. All right, so I had a lot of chats. So because of that, I've created a lot of accounts that I'm using ChatGPT so that I'll not be able to have all those kind of errors. So when that happens, you need to go into your chat, your settings, so that you can clear some of the uh, memory. All right, so there will be space reserved for ChatGPT. All right. So let's uh, come back to what I want to do with this chat. With this chat, all right. So if there is any announcement, assume my pastor calls me and tells me there will be a football competition come Easter. So I just simply I should tell the youth ministry about this football competition. So I should forward the information to WhatsApp. All right. So I just tell ChatGPT football competition this Easter. All right. ChatGPT will understand and then craft a message for me so that I'll be able to send it to my youth members. All right. Now, so this is the message. I didn't give ChatGPT more information. I can go ahead to give ChatGPT the people that we are going to have the competition with and the time. The reason why ChatGPT use 5:30 p.m. church grounds and all those kind of services because of our previous conversation. I've had a lot of conversation because 5:30 p.m. Sunday is our meeting time for the youth ministry. All right. So ChatGPT already knows that. So whenever that I do any announcement, he is thinking, all right. He is thinking that it is sorry that it is the same time since I didn't specify the time. So I can tell ChatGPT that the time is maybe 7 p.m. Right? All right. So now ChatGPT changes the time to 7 a.m. Okay. So chats. So this makes creating content very easy. So I don't need to think about grammar error and all those kind of stuff. I just simply write down something that I want to do. Um, Probably maybe um, we will a 19 service on Wednesday. Right. So um, all right. So now ChatGPT already knows my name. Sometimes you've even forgotten. All right. I didn't know that he knew my name. All right. So he wrote a message for me. Okay, I'm quite sure. So in the previous chat, so these are some of the things that you'll be experiencing. Right? Maybe it's a very long chat that I've had. Right? Try GPT to remember all of those chats because I don't remember when I told ChatGPT my name. Right? But probably I'm sure it's in the chat. So ChatGPT just cracked the message for us. Right? So this happens automatically as you build your chat with ChatGPT. So it makes writing message very easy, simple, and fast. Right? This is what it means to automate your chat so that whatever thing that you put here, automatically your message will be what created for you. Right. So again, I can also come to this particular chat, um, my ELT platform. So those of you who are on the platform, so this is where I create my message for my announcements. All right. So I just tell ChatGPT that there will be a next session. Oh, it's what am I even typing? All right. Oh, but okay. Who cares? ChatGPT understands that. So ChatGPT that then crafts, a message for us. So I can as well, tell ChatGPT to add more stuff, right? So that is what it means to organize your chat to ensure that you organize your chat very well, uh, and then you use each chat for a particular task. All right. So you just go, if you are having a chat, you can create a chat for miscellaneous, all right, where you can ask any question at all, right? Any question you can ask over there. So if the chat becomes so long, you can also, divide it into several miscellaneous chats, miscellaneous one, two, three, four, five, right? In that manner. So always, rename your charts, and then use a particular chart for a particular task, right? This help you to automate everything, to help you to create content faster and easier, all right? It saves a lot of time, all right? So there is a particular feature that you can also program every chart. So no matter what the charts that you open, ChatGPT has been programmed already. So every chart that you open, ChatGPT is going to act the same way in every chart. All right, because with this chart is different from this one, and it is different from this one. All right. So what I put here, the response will be different from what I put here. All right. So we can also program ChatGPT by using custom instruction, so that whatever chat that we open, we can tell ChatGPT to write an email. Right? We are going to use the whole of the account, everything here, every chat that we are going to open. ChatGPT should use it to create an email. Aside email, we are not going to do any other stuff. So in this case, whatever that you chat, whatever that you give to ChatGPT, ChatGPT has to create an email. Let me show an example. Um, I want to demonstrate this thing for you before we move on to how to program all of the chat. All right. For instance, instead of trying to have a conversation, a long list of conversation with ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT ends up programming itself in a way that you just saw in the youth ministry chat. I just put make an announcement, and the message, I mean, is generated for us. Instead of doing having those long chats, all right, you can also tell ChatGPT that um, I think I have a sample test here. Let me use it. All right. So right from the onset, we can tell ChatGPT that ChatGPT should, create an email for us. So this is what we are going to use the chat for. All right. So now ChatGPT is programmed to write emails. So whatever that you put here, ChatGPT is going to, uh, write an email for you. All right. So remember, let's say you type announce a new product. This statement doesn't make sense, all right? But so long as you are working on this particular chart, ChatGPT understand. It really makes sense to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT understands that uh, this is for email. So if you are saying announce a new product, ChatGPT then write the email for you. All right, you don't need to. So assuming ChatGPT is done with it, and then we type maybe iPhone X, iPhone X. All right, then so ChatGPT will place the iPhone X, the product name. All right, iPhone X, and then we also have some of the features. You can add some of the features, maybe 128 gigabytes ROM, and then 4 gigabytes RAM. So, so that ChatGPT will insert this information. So You also have a customer name, so you can also provide ChatGPT with a customer name by just typing the name. All right, maybe Agnes. Then ChatGPT will add the customer's name. You see, we didn't tell ChatGPT to place the name at a particular place, but ChatGPT understand that Agnes. I mean, we are referring to the customer. You see, ChatGPT can reason, so you need to leverage on that particular uh, capability of ChatGPT to also create content. All right. That's the reason I told you earlier that the reasoning ability of ChatGPT is very, very important. You need to understand that it will help you a lot. All right. So I think that is that with the organizing and accessing your charts. So make sure that you go through all of this information so that you will understand everything perfectly. All right, guys. Thank you for being here with us, and ensure that you don't skip this video. Whatever that we discussed here is very, very important. All right, each moment of it is very, very important. So do not skip this information. Instead, you can pause it or you move back to get everything. Ensure that you get everything that we are doing here. You see, as simple as ChatGPT may seem like, you see, there is a lot that you need to understand about ChatGPT that will help you save you from a lot of trouble. The times that I use in doing research, the time that I use, experimenting and learning ChatGPT, you need to save yourself from all those time. All right. So by just going through the training, you are just saving time. All right. So the things that I learned for more than 2 years, you'll be able to get it. I mean, within some few days, you'll be able to get it. All right. I know, of course, it is not possible for you to grab everything, or for me to give you everything that I've learned all these 2 years. But the little that I'll even give you in this training, it will help you a lot. All right. So, mind you, you need to, ensure that you finish every video. You need to cover every tutorial. You need to watch everything and cover all the learning materials. Learn everything. Make sure you get everything that this training has to offer. If you are into web development, if you are an IT student, please, I recommend that you take the AI driven development training. You need to take it because it will help you where we delve into using AI to develop a website. I know a lot of people who are struggling right now, who are IT students, and they are struggling because they think that I'm an IT person and AI. What is AI? It's very simple. Do I need to learn all of these things? No, I don't have to learn. It is very simple. You just have to ask questions. Okay, if it is very simple, why have you not built projects? All right. I told, I mean, those guys in the aid training that is the AI driven development training that I built 6 projects within 2 months. All right, 6 projects, including DBMS or database management software, and a lot more projects. 6 projects in 2 months. All right. So if you are very familiar with AI and you are well versed in prompt engineering, you should be building projects. The focus, you should be projects. You should be building. So why don't you have project rather? You see, you may struggle a lot if you are not well versed in prompt engineering. You will struggle a lot. All right. So that's the reason why, I mean, we are providing this training. Just take the training, and everything will be well. Right. You will understand all that you need to understand, Some are even using the wrong tool. Instead of using ChatGPT, they are using other, some says is using Meta AI. You see, if you are using Meta AI, that means you are lost. You can use there, of course, there are other tools that I'm going to provide you with, but the most important one, you see, the biggest one is ChatGPT, all right? You can't compare ChatGPT with any other chatbot, right? It is the best chatbot ever released, all right? It was the best chatbot that was released first, all right? That is OpenAI's ChatGPT, and there is no other. So if you are using any other chatbot, all right, that is working for you, you will still be living below the potentials of ChatGPT. When we are talking about prompt engineering, you will not experience, the real thing, right? Because all other chatbots are tapping from OpenAI's ChatGPT. So why do you have to go through all of that, right? So you need to go to the main person who is going to provide us with the main thing, all right? So that we soil our hands with prompt engineering. So see you guys next time, and then stay tuned by uh, forwarding all your comments and the issues that you will face in your AI journey, all right, on WhatsApp, and then we will address it. You can also bring your success stories, whatever thing that is working for you. If you discover some prompt that will help you, you can come up with it on WhatsApp so that we can all learn together. All right. All right. So I'll see you next time.